What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of the Devinwade Show. I am your host, DevNasty, aka Dangerous DevNasty, aka Choke Your Mom Out, aka Choke Your Pop Out. And today is a different type of day on the show. This isn't our normal schedule. You see that we had to get to y'all a little bit early. Normally we release an episode on Tuesday, but the news has been like crazy this week. You know what I'm saying, Rich?
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. So sometimes, Waleska was saying, because we was debating on whether or not we was going to jump in here and do something. And Waleska D, who's to the right of me right now, said, listen, we can't help what happens in current events. Sometimes we going to have to just jump in there and get off schedule. You know what I'm saying? So there won't be an episode on Tuesday, but we are here early this weekend.
And we definitely believe that, we like Dev always say, we family with our supporters, with our listeners, with the people that be in the chat with us. And we really just feel like this is what the people would appreciate and want from us because they appreciate our conversation. So when it's current stuff going on and it's right now happening, a lot of things going on, we just feel as though that y'all, our listeners and our people would appreciate us tapping right in on it.
Right. So we in here today. Of course, we got our DJ Chelsea Lee, who doesn't have to DJ today, because we just in here just having conversation. Last week, we just talked to y'all, and we had a episode that was really fun. Shout out to our brothers at Talk Heavy Podcast, and we talked about threesome rules, and we kind of talked about the fun part of people exploring sexual things or whatever as adults. But we didn't talk about the darker side of it, the negative parts, the things that, the other parts that surface with that. And it really relates to the news, this week, because we got to jump right into this. T.I., has been accused by Sabrina Peterson. And who is Sabrina Peterson, Wally?
So Sabrina Peterson is basically, she has a, so what she does is she does seminars about helping people like building their business. And also she talks about women empowerment, empowering women and stuff like that. So she has like these little seminars. Her Instagram is like Glam University. So she's basically having this, how people pay for these schoolings and you go and you meet this woman and she's like an empowered woman and, they're speaking off of their own experiences and helping you build your brand, build your businesses and stuff like that.
So she has a platform or something to stand on at the same time. Well, this woman has brought out some accusations about T.I. and his wife Tiny from Escape, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's making it look like they're on the same thing, kind of like Bill Cosby was accused of.
Yep.
But tag team.
Yeah, right. And but usually in situations like that, people do have a lot of times a person that aids
they
them.
Have the kind of like the enablers, kind of
Because-
like in the Jeffrey Weinstein. He had the girl.
Yeah, right.
Her last name's Maxwell, but she was like the one that was getting the women and kind of like bringing them in. And
R. Kelly's entourage
Yep.
was letting certain stuff go down. Now, I want to be beyond clear in this situation. Ain't nobody in this room do nothing or been in a bedroom or nothing with no T.I., Tiny at all.
Nobody.
No. So we don't know shit. We in here, and we're going to talk about the topic. This is an introduction to the topic, but we're going to talk about this on a bigger scale that leaves the Tiny and T.I. situation. But to start off, so we want to be clear that ain't nobody coming out condemning this man saying he did X, Y, and Z. At this point, standing right here, speaking for myself, I'm a fan of T.I. and T.I.'s music since the very, very beginning. Which is a totally separate thing than whatever actions he's being accused of. But I don't have any proof or anything of these actions. But what we do have is a woman that came out that told her story. And in her story, she also says that T.I. at one point put a gun to her head. Just as a character description to say that T.I. is this like violent person that is abusive towards women. But then she also began to share stories on her Instagram and things like
her Insta story. She once she said what she said, allegedly she was receiving DMs from other women. And basically
she was
saying
receiving a bunch of DMs, but we don't know if they're true.
We don't, right. That's why I said allegedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't know if these accounts were just created by her or whatever the case may be. I'm just speaking
real quick because of why? Because there's no
concrete evidence on all these allegations.
And every person said, leave me anonymous in there. So from what I saw, and this is just from what I saw, there was, she would share things and you kind of respond back, oh my God, do you want help with our lawyers or whatever the case may be? But every person would say, keep me anonymous.
Absolutely.
So there's no other human beings that, that you could put a face to in this particular situation so far that have said, and this is as we're reporting this.
Yes.
For all I know, while I'm reporting this right now, a videotape could come out. You know what I'm saying?
She just posted up the lie detector test.
Right. But
I'm not saying that's truthful. What I'm saying that's something that just came out.
Right.
So something can come out
tomorrow
in an hour
or in the next
2 hours from now and could be like, he took a lie detector test. But what I'm saying at this point, she took one. And it said like, did T.I. hold a gun to your head? And it said it was like 98%, that she was telling the truth on the questions that you could clearly see. She posted up how much did lie detector test cost, where she got it, the payment. So it seemed like there was some proof to what the lie detector test that she posted. I mean, I don't know how much you can make up about that. She posted the video being there. She posted the video doing it, but
you can make up stuff.
No, I'm saying you can always make up stuff. But there can always be truth.
People have beaten lie detector
But lie
tests.
detector
There can always
tests,
be truth.
A lot of serial killers took lie detector
and beat
tests
them
and beat them and said that they didn't do this. It's all about the
definitely ways to beat them.
That's what I'm saying.
The state of mind you're in, the calmness. But I just want to sit here and I just want to explain what they're being accused of. So the latest round of allegations are in a series of screenshots of DMs that Sabrina posted on her social media, right? And they're accusing the T.I.'s wife, Tamika Harris, and T.I. Transgressions allegedly from more than multiple women, right? And the accounts claim, and these were all kind of consistent, that each person were forced to take drugs and pressured of sex. So this is what they're being accused on. Okay, because I don't want people to kind of like, we're having conversation. I just kind of wanted y'all to understand what they're exactly being accused on. So when we're having this dialogue, y'all understand everybody's viewpoints and where we're all coming from based on like the allegations that they're talking about.
She did call a girl, and the girl
when she was 16, she said she was 16.
She called a girl and she was on the phone with her. Because the girl didn't want to be seen, and it was obviously another woman's voice, and she said the whole story. But in her story, she didn't know if anyone alleged had raped her. She didn't know if it was T.I. or whatever. She was pretty much 16 years old. They said, "Come in, you can meet T.I., sing for him, show him your music." She said she went in. The guy said, "You look nervous," of which a lot of the stories it was either supposedly Tiny or T.I., or mostly Tiny, saying, "You look nervous, have this drink."
Yep.
So they were kind of supposedly making the women feel like they had to have a certain drug to be relaxed enough to be hanging out with them. But the girl said the guy in the studio, Brandon was his name, allegedly.
So this is the name that keeps popping up. But continue.
Brandon allegedly had said, "Have a drink." And then she said she had no motor skills. She said she couldn't move. She said she was like stuck and she kind of just blacked out. Then she said she woke up maybe an hour or so later, and that I think she said her vagina was actually hurting. And then she said it was really weird. She got a weird vibe. And she said that T.I. was in the room across from her.
Yeah, like in another, he was like in another room.
So
the way she described it,
made it sound like Brandon did it, not T.I.
Correct.
But they also made it sound like he implied that it was okay because T.I. gave him a high five and said, "Good job."
So this is where
she said that he said, "Wow, y'all crazy, like
y'all wild,
y'all
wild," right? Yeah. That's what she said. So let's be clear. Also, just in that particular woman's description, T.I. is not
in the room
involved in that. Really, is just saying that hold on, y'all saying that T.I. was doing crazy stuff? Well, I got a T.I. tangent story related is what she was basically saying, and saying one time when I went to go meet him, somebody else might have did this to me, and then when I was leaving out, T.I. told them like, oh, y'all wow, or something like that. But also this person, let's always remember, this person is also saying that they were roofied.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're
They
saying
didn't remember
roofied.
nothing.
They were blacked out.
Right. So in
She
a
said
lot,
she did say she didn't know.
She didn't.
Right.
She
The
said
first
she
thing
didn't
she
know.
said
So
was the first thing she said was she didn't remember nothing.
right.
Yeah.
So let's be clear. Let's be clear that we also have to be. We want to make sure that women feel like they can tell their stories and be heard. Right.
Right.
You can't jump straight to, oh, he a celebrity, they trying to get his money.
Right.
But at the same time, celebrities are human beings too. And
Absolutely.
people also love sensationalized stories, right? On a way smaller level, a person said something about me before, you know, not nothing sexual, nothing shit like that. But people just believe whoever's more famous, and you be sitting there like this,
Yeah.
bro, this is crazy as hell.
Well, you guys know,
Not
I said, really quick, Porter, I said that I had a blackout situation. And I don't remember everything, but you remember enough to say that something definitely happened.
In your situation.
In my situation. So I'm never going to discredit anyone who says, you know, I don't remember. I had a drink and I felt weird. I know that night I had a few too many drinks, and I know at some point I started to feel weird.
And you also was a person that took responsibility for your part in what took place. You said, yo, I went out, I was with this person, and I recklessly was drinking and we're going to talk about some preventative ways, you know, from the ladies to lower the risk of some of these things happening. You know what I'm saying? Being more prepared. But you shared your story with everybody, and you explained that you kind of put yourself in a certain situation, and to be in that situation where you're like, I'm not quite sure what happened, but I know something happened, and you weren't comfortable with it after, you know, after the fact.
Can I jump in real quick? Because my thing is this, right? And I'm gonna stay like Wally said before we started this. This is a very sensitive conversation. Right? Because we have rape victims out there for real. Rape victims, women who have been forced sex upon them by crazy, sick, whether they was men, women, whatever, however it went down.
Yeah.
Sick people being predators and catching their prey, unfortunately, and doing horrific and evil things, right?
Yep.
This is rape, right?
Yep.
This is rape. This is what we all know to be rape. When we start talking about rape. And the reason why I say I want to be sensitive is because nobody deserves that.
Right.
No woman deserves that. My heart goes out to any woman that's ever been through that. I pray that she can recover, and I pray that she can live a normal, happy life and get back to herself and enjoying the world that we live in, right? But this world that we live in, right, is not a perfect world, right? And in these situations like this, right, where these type of situations come about, these allegations with things like this, right? Because like Dev said, yes, we want to definitely make sure that no female, no woman out here is being harmed, is being done any cruel, evil things. But at the same time, we do know that it's a history of people preying on celebrities and preying on rich people and preying on people with notoriety and things of that nature. And we want to make sure that that's not cool neither. That's not cool. And we know that people are walking out of prison doors right now from doing 30, 40 years for things that they got found not guilty of. And it's too late now. Their life is gone. Their family suffered. Now listen, I'm with Dev. I'm with the Devinwade Show. This is what we do. We family. We don't know exactly what happened.
Right.
We're going off of details and information that's coming out as it comes out. And you know what we do? And I'm talking about the world.
Yes.
You know what we do that's dead, that's wrong? What we don't do, and this is why all this shit is fucked up, right?
Go ahead, say it.
Because we're not supposed to judge one another, right? Without proper evidence, proof of something that you know a person did. We're not supposed to really do that, place all this judgment and all this shit that we do, right? That's one thing. Another thing is time. We never give nothing time. Time is the all teller. Time is the all healer.
We just go straight to
the answer.
We just be humans.
We make assumptions.
We be humans, right?
Yeah. I saw this. Do you know T.I. was raping chicks?
Yeah.
You know T.I. was raping chicks?
That's how it starts.
Listen, hold on. Not only do we be human, and the only reason we be human, right? And this is a stone cold fact. And we're going to get back to the rape. And I want my ladies, my sisters to get a rape tips for the ladies out there, all that, because we want y'all to be safe. But at the end of the day, we're dealing with a broken fucking system on top of all of this shit, right? So this is why, and I'm mentioning the broken system because we as a people, the same people who bitch about the broken system, who bitch about when people judge them, shit like that.
We a part of it.
We a part of it. We turn around and do it. They ain't been to court yet.
Nope.
We ain't seen shit.
Nothing.
Exactly.
And everybody has already got T.I. and Tiny in the R. Kelly bag.
Yep.
Right.
Or in the Bill Cosby bag.
Yeah.
People who may have been proven that they have done something.
There was concrete evidence.
You got to give things time. And we know we deal with a broken system. We know we deal with a broken system that actually tells us, the system tells us that we are guilty to proven innocent once an allegation or accusation is made upon you.
When it's supposed to be the opposite.
And 9 times out of 10, those allegations and those accusations, to be honest with y'all, and I'm just keeping it real the way I see it, a lot of those situations where they end up like that, where they don't need no proof and they run down on a nigga ASAP, be from women on men. When a woman call the cops and say, yo, he smacked me, they don't need no evidence in the world.
Nothing.
They coming to get you. If I call the cops and say, yo, Wally, my girl, she smacked me, she punched me, everything, bro, and I'm bleeding and everything, they gonna say, come on, man.
Yeah,
you
that's
serious,
a fact.
man?
That's a real fact.
Or you really let that girl beat you
that's
up, homie?
That's a fact.
Like, we're dealing with a broken system, and they put us against each other. They want you to be against me. They want you to be like, I'm a woman, and Rich coming like that. Come on, Rich, where the love at for me? Man, I love you, man. I love you and I love you. I would never let nothing happen to none of y'all. Never. But at the same time, where's the sensitivity and the love for these men that's coming home from these prison sentences 30, 40 years and 45 years for being fucking innocent?
The problem sometimes when it comes to those situations, like you said, Richie, like we go straight to, we assume, because it's an assumption, right? We don't have any facts. We're just assuming that everything they're saying is truth, and we're putting it into the like that R. Kelly category. But let me tell y'all the difference between this situation and the R. Kelly situation. The women from the R. Kelly situation, they came up, showed face, and stated their names.
Right, but and that happened. That happened over time.
Right,
that happened over time.
This is early.
Hold on, and we got to remember that when things happen in a sexual nature, everybody's not as telling. Like, you looking at Dev from the Devinwade Show. Wow, we on here telling y'all anything about ourselves. We that open. Every person doesn't think like that. So it's a lot of times women feel shame or embarrassment when something like that happens to them. They said that in a
lot of the stories. They said it happened 7 years ago. One girl supposedly said, I was so embarrassed and ashamed because I knew the situation I was in was sketchy, but it was T.I., but it was celebrity. She's like, after I got raped practically and sent home, you know, I didn't even tell my best friend for a week.
Right, but I want to jump. So I'm going somewhere with that. But I'm glad that you brought that up. So this is where other problems come in with these stories, right? One thing, T.I. came out and he had some things to say, and this was already on my mind before I heard that man speak. What people do is, it's not that they assume that a person really did a crime. It's that them being guilty of the crime is more entertaining for their conversation.
Yes.
It's a better story for them to be like, all this time, such and such was a rapist. Now, when Wiley read about it and it said those women were forced. Now, in these situations, from what I read, it was situations where people said, this is what's going on in my house.
You with it or you not?
If you want to come in my house, right? You want to party with the celebrity, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying anything's right. I'm telling you what they said.
Right.
Someone said, if you want to come party with us in here, you got to do these drugs. Those people decided that whoever the celebrity was, and in this case, T.I., Tiny,
right?
They're saying they felt this person was so exalted and above them, and they was in idol worship in a sense, that they were willing to break their own morals or codes based off of, oh, I don't do drugs. So they took these drugs, right?
Yep.
And they chose to take these drugs. Everybody involved, they're saying, we're all taking these drugs.
And would you consider that playing in fire?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Now
she also made a comment saying that this was a long time ago. So some of these girls were 16. One girl said she was like 18. So
all right, so hold on. Hold on. So let's be clear, right? We dealing with legalities, right? If one girl says she was 18, she grown.
She's supposedly grown,
so
but let's all look at 18-year-old women nowadays who see celebrities just like all the women who came out in R. Kelly
but we're talking about a criminal situation.
Yeah, we gotta
talk about legalities. We can't talk about whether Devinwade at 40 years old would deal with an 18-year-old woman.
Enough,
yes, legally she was adult enough.
So we're talking about crimes.
But I'm also saying that people who, let's just say the allegations come out to be partly true or somewhat true, they, like R. Kelly, like to deal with younger women who don't have an adult mindset to really make a choice because they see celebrity and they don't think, I don't care about this. They think I'm going to do whatever it is. Yes, at 18, they might be grown. At 16, they're not. But I'm also just thinking of like, if this was so long ago and the allegations of them, somebody actually wrote kids. So with an S. So if that's the case, it just makes it seem like they were picking these girls that were young.
I can only go. Reason why I'm jumping in is because I didn't read any of that. The only thing
I read every story.
So
last night.
Telling you what I saw was this is all I know. A 16-year-old story involved the boy Brandon, and she said nothing about T.I. touching her.
Right.
The other girl is 18 years old. She's grown. I don't know any.
I read every story last night.
No, but listen. First of all, hold on. First of all, let me touch real quick because we're talking about all these. We going back into like these details that have no credibility. We going back into this information that has no credibility, and we need to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Because I could bring up the fact that the same girl we talking about, was at T.I., and when T.I. and Jeezy was together, Tiny and them got the footage. She was present with her kid there, trying to get her kid taken picture, calling T.I. his uncle, calling T.I. her son's uncle. Yeah, so we gotta be mindful, because we're not just going to disregard that piece of information, but then go with every piece of information that make it look like T.I. and them probably did.
But no, that's what I wanted to bring up about.
Hold on. But I'm going somewhere. So just understand that you can't judge people's practices that you find unsavory that are still legal. You can't use that to criminalize them. If me and my wife like having sex with motherfucking 30 people in a room, you can't say, you know what, they probably do be raping people too.
Yeah, no.
So what I'm saying is, in a lot of these cases, the things are different things. You can use it as a character description to say, yo, homie put a gun to her head. Because what if, devil's advocate, that story's true? That don't mean the rape story's true.
Right.
It mean that he a wild nigga with guns, which we
listen.
We already know that.
Hold on.
We already know that.
I just want to be clear about stuff like this and really drive it home. Because you do one thing does not mean you do another. If we're gonna do that, we're gonna just say all street niggas that shoot people, they rape people too.
Yep.
All people that fight, kill people. Like, we gotta be clear. So maybe something did happen where this person had this interaction. There was an argument, guns were pulled out. I've seen that amongst even men, homies that's friends, and then they patch back up, and then me and Rich, something happened and something like that, and then next year we together, and it's still like, yo, that's Neff right there. We all cooling, because it wasn't something it's still serious. But people that grow up in certain environments and ghettos forgive things forgive things that are inappropriate in that violent type of way. So I want to be clear that some of these things could have taken place, but when they start adding on all of this stuff, and now they got these mystery women, and they're all funneling their story only through this lady, and they're saying, do not show my face, do not, You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that.
And let's not just mention
see them.
Let's not just
No, hold
let's
on.
not just mention the ones who we think that are credible. Again, this is why I'm gonna keep going back to this, because
nobody's really credible.
We can't talk about this the one girl who she had the conversation on the phone with, who talking about Brandon and all that shit, and not mention the other girls who DM'd her, right, and said, yeah, I was one of them too, wah, and then that same girl DM'd her girlfriend, and her girlfriend posted that post because she found it fucked up and was probably a T.I. fan, and the post was basically her saying, yeah, I'm just jumping on the bandwagon.
I'm just trying to get some clout,
right? Jumping on the bandwagon. We gotta talk about that.
So also, if we do this, the one girl I saw a video of, right? The person I saw a video of talked about a situation where nothing even happened to her. She said, I got one of them invites to go down there and I never went through with it, but as if the invite to come down was a part. No, they never said that they didn't invite girls over their crib. They could do that, but you're making it stick like, so you got invited to their crib too, and you got invited. See, they do be raping people. Them girls never had no interaction with that man.
But you want to hear something funny and I want to piggyback off of what you're saying, the whole inviting someone to your home, because we already know Tiny and T.I., they like to deal with other people in their bedroom, and whatever they do, to each his own.
That's their business.
But even there's another celebrity that does the same thing, that's into girls and does the same thing. And I remember one time they tried to accuse her for rape too, and it was a lie. It came out to be, it was a whole lie. Not saying that these women aren't,
We ain't
all
say
right
nothing.
or wrong or whatever. But we know we can't sit here and say, because of the lifestyle that they lived and their sexual preferences, is them raping women, them trafficking women, or whatever the case may be. If he is saying that if you come into their crib, it's consensual, yes, because if you're not just walking up to T.I.'s crib and they or walking around the neighborhood and they're snatching you up and they're like, hey, you're coming into T.I.'s crib tonight. Like, it's not working out like that.
there.
Even this. So then the girls were saying stuff in these texts that I know you read. They told me in order to come in, I had to take a drug. I agreed to take the drug. I had sex with them and they paid me $3,000. They literally saying they got paid for sex. So in this weird, raunchy, whatever you want to call it, some people think it's immoral, filthy, there was more like a prostitution. Like, you got paid for a service and now it's, you know what I mean? It's turning into this, but it's like, so did you get assaulted or did you agree to do something and was financially, you know what I mean? They flew you out, they paid you.
You're getting compensated for a service that you provided that you knew you were coming to do.
Now, if you are a woman and you meet Drake, right? And he's that dude, he gotta live a private life, right? He can't just let any woman walk in his crib, have her phone, walk around the house. No, motherfuckers be like, you got to give my man that phone. Because they are in a different position than we are in. Right. Every person that they deal with, sometimes in their circle, but on the outskirts, they can't just trust that. So that's where things come in, where they bring up the part where they say, and I had to sign this paper.
You have to.
Well, the reason why you sign non-disclosure, I got to sign non-disclosures when people call me up and say, yo, Dev, I love your production. You know, big companies, I love your production, and I got an idea that I want to talk to you about. I need you to sign this paper before I give you my idea because they need to make sure that I don't talk about that idea to somebody else. And it's the same way when they're dealing with people in a sexual nature, because they want to have sex. They want to enjoy themselves however they do, but they want to make sure if we agree to do this, I don't want you running your mouth on something we agreed to. So if you're want to do this, I got this paperwork for you. I got this pen, and I need you to sign this so that at least you know if you try to come out and tell the private business of what we all do in my bedroom, you know what I'm saying, which I'm not cool with, you know that there's legal ramification. You at least think about that signature you put on that paper. That doesn't mean necessarily that the person said, yo, we raped you and I need you to sign this paper to make sure that you don't tell anybody. It doesn't work like that.
It's more or less like you said, it's a lifestyle thing. I signed one when I went to an NFL private party. It was a private party for an NFL team I won't mention. The players was in there. You know, I knew some people that knew some of the people. And it was a lot going on in there. To baby casinos and everything. And I ain't gonna say it was a lot like foul shit. It wasn't nothing foul going on in there. It was their lifestyle. Shit that if they did on TV, whether it could have been light shit as smoking weed, they gonna get fucking criticized. They're gonna get bashed for. They're gonna get a bunch of unnecessary drama and heat for that they don't need. So that's why a lot of times them papers come into play too. But real quick, just to like touch on like, cause the time, like as far as what I wanna say about us and just time, man. Time, giving things time, bro. Again, we not saying what's wrong, what's right here.
Or that shorty's lying. Because it could be
who knows what's going to come out. It's about giving it time. We are in the information era. If you don't know that by now, then you need to go back and lay down. We are in what I mean by the information era.
We're in an era where all these things, all these informations, they're not credible sources.
No, but that's where I'm going.
And they just come out like that.
That's where I'm going. We are in an information era, period, where information you have the most access to information ever. Ever in the world, you have the most access to information right now, and it's a gift and a curse.
But it's like 50% false information.
But that's where I'm going. It's a gift and a curse because it enables so many people to put so much false information out there. It's almost like walking through a forest that's like a maze. You're trying to get out, and it's filled with another million people that's telling you, go that way, no, it's this way, it's that way, it's this way. And if you listen to every motherfucker or any motherfucker, then that says a lot about you and where you trying to go in life and how important your direction in life is. So it's like, let's slow down. Let's slow down. Let's believe in what we believe in, the universe, God, whatever it is you believe in. Pray on it. Pray for the truth to come out, right? Because that's what we want, the truth, right? But until the truth come out, right, we know that people are supposed to be innocent till proven guilty. This system, this country has changed that. And that's where a lot of the problem lies at.
So what I want to say real quick is if the woman is telling the truth and any woman that is telling their story, I commend them for coming forward and saying, this is what happened to me. Yes. And in the same light, I commend T.I. if it, vice versa, for him saying, nah, I can't let that just slide. I'm going to get right on this thing right here and let y'all know this is what it is. This is what happened. And also say what I'm not going to do is allow y'all to come into my bedroom and talk about what me and my wife do. But what I will say is that any of these egregious allegations, that part ain't there, but I'm not going to sit here and have a discussion with you on what me and my wife choose to do to enjoy ourselves sexually. And it was the most mature response that you could
He's
give.
very articulate.
Yeah, it was the best one.
Very expeditious.
I do want to say something just for the women, and I'm sure Wally can piggyback off it. Like, I have been in, a lot of places, parties, events, and been around a lot of celebrities I'm not going to name. And I've been offered to have a drink or take a pill or do something, where I could foresee being so young, even 19, 20, being in certain places and events, and I could foresee, hey, if I take this drink or if I do this pill around these people who are looking at me like an object or someone that's not, aware of what's going on or what could happen, it could lead to something bad. So except for that, that one situation I shared with you guys, after that, I really made a conscious effort to not put myself in situations like that. Yeah, it's okay to be around, but once a drink is offered or a pill is offered, or I've seen pills drop in bottles, and nobody saw except me. And I'll go tell another girl and say, yo, I seen some shit in that drink. I don't know if you about it, but I'm out of here.
Good for you, Chelsea.
So you have to be really, really aware when you're around anybody, but especially celebrities, especially people that have money, especially people that are powerful, that could pretty much, if they chose to do something, that you could come out and you might not be believed, and vice versa. So, you know, I just want all the women out there, anybody who is in those situations, if you're a dancer, a stripper, a bartender, and you're around people who are drinking or whatever it is, you just have to be really self-aware of what's going on. You see, you know, drinks coming out, you get uncomfortable. You have to learn how to exit the situation.
And I want y'all to actually get into that in a second. You know, because I want to move into a portion where we start talking about ways that they could stop, you know, well, not stop, because if a person's just on some animal shit, but I'm talking about ways that they could be more cautionary. But I want to drive this home, because this is a situation that was like close to me at one point, a super close like little brother of mine, and I think I talked about this on here. But it's so important that I'll retell it because it actually happened here. You know what I'm saying? A decade ago, and this is what I talk about when I talk about like things that people find immoral or unsavory that aren't illegal. If you know these young kids, you know they all in their 20s and shit like that. When they decided to, a woman decides, oh, I'm going to sleep with a bunch of these guys. A bunch of these guys are what we call running train in the hood. They sitting there doing that. It's something that people will look at like, yo, that's immoral. It's a woman having sex with 3 guys, 4 guys, whatever the case may be. But that's something that they choose to do and do frequently. Now, when things happen and that person is put in a situation where it's like, people found out about it, I'm embarrassed, I'm going to say I got raped. And that happened to these guys. And they were facing real time, real serious shit. And people jumped on those allegations heavy. Like, them motherfuckers is this or that. Everybody want to come to the... You could die because somebody said you did some shit like that, right? And the craziest part is the dude that I was closest to, he was kind of like a person not with it. It was... I'm not gonna be a square. I'll do it too, type of thing, right? She want to do it. All right, I'm not corny. I'm gonna do it. And then next thing you know, he's looking at the craziest situation where they're all locked up and all of this. And because of just like a situation with the DM, this woman started talking to person that she confided in, her friends, and said, it ain't true. But those dudes all do little dumb shit anyway. He sell weed, he does this. They gonna end up in jail at some point anyway. So why would I have everybody know I got a train ran on me? That's my private business. I'm not doing nothing to them. They all gonna probably end up in jail for something else anyway. And then that evidence in confessions that she put out, somebody brought actually to me to take to the police station, and it cracked that whole thing open where she ended up admitting ain't none of that shit happened. It was like, actually, I've slept with these guys on multiple
That's
occasions.
why you have to, if you choose to be out in these situations and you choose to pop a pill or do certain things, you have to live with your choice. I mean, it might be a bad situation, but don't put yourself in a situation to where you do something and black out and then be like, oh, I don't know what happened. You have to be self-aware. Like, you have to be self-aware of who you're around, what you're doing, and try to have that sense of foreseeing what could happen. And
if you, because this we're not talking about blackout situations in this regard. We're talking about, I've already done this multiple times with the same group of people.
If you choose to do it.
Right. So it's not even a blackout. Sometimes it's a guilt or a people found out. So it's not always just because they didn't know what happened. It's, oh man, I don't like the way I feel about it now. Or the niggas was talking about me grimy afterwards, and niggas said, man, you a jump off bitch. Man, we've been running trains on you, and now they like, oh, I'm gonna press charges on him.
Before we let the ladies go ahead and close this out, let the ladies close it out for the ladies. I just want to say 2 things, right? As far as like the whole demoralizing shit, when we hear something like whatever these allegations, or we hear about our celebrities that want to have an extra lady in the bedroom, an extra 2, an extra 3. We're like, oh, they're horrible. They're the worst humans in the world. Like, fuck out of here. We know we live in a world where like Pornhub, X videos, all that shit exists and is running rampant, making millions. Where they spitting on bitches. Excuse my language. Mm-hmm. You let a nigga spit on you, like you got some work to do. Like, but they spitting on them, choking them, all kinds of crazy shit. And nobody running the motherfucking, rattling up the world to say, yo, let's shut all this shit down. It's demoralizing to the world we live in. The world we live in shouldn't be like this. Nobody the fuck is getting behind that shit. And these are big platforms where billions of people watch this shit. And I've seen some I watch porn. I watch a little porn. I got freak in me. But that shit, when I see some crazy shit, a broad being like boot to her neck, she damn near can't breathe. You did that for some money? People allowing you to do that? And y'all want to talk about T.I. and Tiny, who might have wanted an extra shorty in the bed with him? A threesome? Like, I'm just saying, be mindful. Be mindful of what you choose to speak on, what you choose to judge, and then what you choose to turn your cheek on. Or be mindful of what you sleep to, of what you don't recognize. Don't acknowledge, but be quick to acknowledge and recognize. And besides that, I just want to say, so y'all could drive it home with the tips. I just want to say, because you made a great point, Chelsea, when you said that you be out around celebrities, you be at parties, things of that nature. You be going to places where you just go to enjoy yourself. Mm-hmm. You're not asking for like what some of these girls might be asking for when they actually go to somebody's house and decide to take a drug to get in. You know, they willing to do these things to be around this stuff. Mm-hmm. That's not your situation when you just go out to a club and you're still around these people who some of these people might be some of them same people. Powerful, elite people who may have the Ruthie on them, right? But I want to say this, again, ladies and men. It's not just for ladies. That's for men. Men get roofied. Men get kidnapped. You'll never see them the fuck again. Men done got killed.
That's a fact.
They find them shot the fuck up, busting their head with hammers. Torture. From Ruthies. From a kidnapping. I say that to say that it's all of our obligation to watch ourselves, to protect yourself. It's your obligation to protect yourself. When you're in the club, to watch your drink. Watch the people that offer you drinks. It's your job. With that being said, I just want to say that be mindful. We all heard the saying, the money is the root of all evil. We like money. Everybody like money. It kind of like reminds me of the movie The Devil's Advocate, when it was just a lot of money involved, a lot of material, and it was a lot of devilish shit going on, a lot of scandalous shit, right? Be mindful of what you want. Be mindful of who you think is so special, so important, and what you'll do to be around them. Be mindful of what the fuck you let money drag you into. Because you will wake the fuck up one day, God forbid, and be like, damn.
That 20 grand didn't matter.
The fucking surprise of your life.
Mm-hmm. People need to realize, I just feel like, just to bring it home for women, you know, I've never been in a situation where, like, you know, not that I've never been in a situation, I'm very in tune within myself and how I feel. So if I'm in a situation where I feel uncomfortable or something don't feel right, you go with that feeling. What happens is us as women or humans in general, we disregard all those signs that we're feeling, we're thinking, or we're even seeing. We turned a blind eye for some odd reason because we just think this particular person, we idolize them so much that we're willing to disregard what your gut feeling is saying. Oh, this
is the best opportunity.
You know, and you're going to still do it. So what I can essentially, the tips that I would give you with situations like this is, number one, if you're not into certain things and you're just doing it because you feel as though that you're gonna get a different type of attention from a certain person, that's wrong. Because at the end of the day, these people do this on a day-to-day basis, right? Mm-hmm. This is something that they're into. So what you're doing is not special. Okay? Number 2, if you're in here and you're in a situation and you feel as though that you want to take drugs for something, just be mindful that those drugs, if you've never taken drugs before, and we've had an episode on drugs, go watch that episode. But you don't know how your body's going to react. You don't know what you're going to do in those certain circumstances.
And you don't know who you're getting it from, and you don't know what you're taking.
Exactly. So
unless you bought your own.
Exactly. So with that being said, don't take drugs. Everything that's been going on in this situations are things where you can say yay or nay. I never like I said, there's more things that might pop up throughout the week, throughout the day, throughout the hour, minute, or second, right?
Details, she means.
Details. But what I can say is, we just need to be mindful in any situation that we're in. Us as women, yes, we can dress sexy, we can look like this, and, you're going to a place and you're going to get a certain type of attention. But as women, we have the right to say no. Now, if you're into that type of attention and you want to kind of keep going with it, there's consequences that come with that too. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, not be into threesomes or not do certain things, because if that's what you're into, cool. Right. But us as humans, we shouldn't try to bash women for doing that. And I think that's another reason why people want to, like you said, want to create rape allegations, just because they're embarrassed of a decision that they made that they kind of wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt, and I'm going to say something that some people, because they're stupid and want to be argumentative, selective listening, and they're going to want to say, hold on, we have the right to do what we want. Wally brought up something like, as a woman, you could wear what you want, you could do what you want, you always have the right to say no, and that's 100%. I'm talking to people as if you was my daughter, I'm going to tell you, if you my daughter, my sister, my girl, when you going in certain environments and certain people are going to be there, you going to be somewhere and you got to be around a bunch of men or whatever, you got to use some kind of judgment, because like Rich said earlier, the world ain't perfect and it's predators out this motherfucker. So because we know that, and we know that we're not going to reason, right, with predators, we're not going to reason with them, I'm going to suggest, don't wear that around these motherfuckers.
Or don't go to the party.
Yeah, right. So
if you don't know how to be strong,
don't drink.
Say no.
But hold up, but it's not about that's where I want to. That's why I'm trying to get out with my thought.
Like,
that's why I'm trying to get out. It's like a drug
dealer. It's like someone taking a little bit, then a little bit, then a little bit. So if you don't know how to differentiate and be self-aware, you can't go to the party and then say, oh, I'm going to say no. Or go to the party and say, I'm just going to do one drug.
But I'm not talking about saying no in this regard. I'm talking about from what Wally's standpoint is, when she said you have the right to say no.
That's
no
saying
matter
being strong enough to say no.
No.
Well, no.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead. Let him finish. Let him get it out.
When a person dresses a certain way, if you walk in, you have the right to walk in here naked, right, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Right? But if you walk in here naked with it's 10 dudes in here, do you think that people are going to react differently to how they going to treat you and what they might do to you?
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with whether you say no or yes, you might be attacked by someone based off of the fact that they say, if you come in here dressed like that, I feel in my mind I could do that to you.
Yes.
They're in the wrong. I'm giving a suggestion that I'm saying that, yeah, that man is wrong. You should, in a perfect world, be able to do what you want. But if you my daughter, family member, something like that, nothing to do with your choice, I'm talking about forceful shit.
Right.
I would advise that you don't put on some shit that looks like you're trying to be, sexy for this person. Now, I want to be clear. I don't want to get cut off because I want to be clear in what I say, because motherfuckers will jump in there and say, no, she should be able to wear. I know she should. I'm trying to save your life.
Right.
Because there's fucking animals in the world.
Right.
Yes,
if you come out with the food showing and the animals that's hungry, they act differently.
Yes.
These are stupid motherfuckers that are crazy.
It triggers something in the brain.
Oh man, this bitch got her titties all out. She got that she wanted it. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm advising is also precautionary things.
Yes.
In your certain situations of safety, even presentation. If I walk up and down the fucking street everywhere I go with a fucking karate uniform on, somebody at some point is going to walk up to me and say, y'all want to fight? I want to see how good you are at fighting, right? No, I'm being serious, right? That's what's going to happen. So what I'm saying is just to be mindful even in that. That doesn't make it your fault at all. I'm just begging y'all to fucking protect yourself. But it had nothing to do, not talking about choices or saying no.
I get what you're saying because I've been telling all my friends this for a while now. Like, yes, you know, you want to dress how you want to dress and go to the club. And, you know, I've been grabbed on wearing a fucking sweatsuit, wearing a freaking hoodie. People grab your ass. You don't really have to be naked in order to. You don't have to have your titties out. But I understand what you're saying because if I choose to go to a party with a bikini on, people are going to look at me and be like, oh, she's open to having people touch her because she's wearing a bikini. I understand that. But you could also be covered up and still be. That's a precautionary thing. I understand that.
So we already know the part that you could be covered up and get raped. We already know that. We're focusing now on the points of what can you do to try to help the situation.
Yes.
So we already know.
Maybe not going to the party. Maybe going and hanging out with different people that will put you in those certain situations.
Before I lose this thought, like what I get from Dev is when I see the girls in the mirror, right? You taking your selfie, right? You want to make sure the pussy muscle crazy, right? No, let's be honest. Yeah, tights, coochie cutter shorts. You want to show the pussy muscle. You want to show the motherfucking knuckles, whatever they call it, the pussy foot.
I'm serious.
You doing it. It's a thing. When you come out the house and your pussy all bulging and you walk past 7 ignorant motherfuckers who don't give a fuck and they say, damn, what you got, a football in your motherfucking drawers? Don't be mad. Hold on. Don't be motherfucking mad.
Right.
Point blank period. Look, let's be honest. This brings me to a great point. Look what just happened in Harlem, right? And so sorry, so unfortunate that it happened to this lady because she wasn't even like that.
Right.
She ain't even come in there fucked up dressed or nothing. She came to get a drink. Long day at work, she came to get a drink and thought she could stop in her own community. Around some colored people, I ain't tripping about them. They like my little bros at home. Feel me? Like, and go in and get a drink. And what happened? She ran into ignorant, evil, misguided, stupid motherfuckers.
Right.
Stupid young motherfuckers. So shout to Harlem. Shout to Harlem for standing up on that one and going to rectify that situation and making it right. But that's all we saying. That it's predators out here and it's motherfuckers that if you is going to motherfucker put yourself out there a little bit, or you is going to take these little risky situations, or you going to dress a little frisky, you know that this motherfuckers out here that's going to motherfucker say some shit. Because it reminds me of the female CO, right? The female CO. Don't go fucking work in a prison if you think they're going to talk to you nice.
Right.
I've seen female COs quit or new COs come in and be like, damn, like they be wilding. I said, that's what they do. You in the motherfucking doghouse. What you think you was coming here for? I done seen female COs get their ass slapped when there was 20 niggas around and they knew she wouldn't be able to tell who did it. You got too close to the dogs. You know where you at. Know your environment. Know what the fuck you around and know what you signing up for is all I'm saying, man.
So that's what I'm making sure of is like I'm explaining to you that even though you have the right to do what you want, if you're being sick, because the truth is, if I walk through the hood with jewelry that I own and I worked hard for, right? I got 20 chains on. My money that I own is hanging out my pockets, right? Literally hanging out. When I walk outside, right? If I get robbed, almost every single person will say, why was he walking with his money showing? That was stupid. So let's use our brains. Don't get on the feminist, the rejecting common sense of what I'm saying and try to make it a thing where I'm saying something I'm not.
You was flashing
Use your fucking brain. I'm saying that now when a woman say, oh, I got this dress on, when I walk, it jump up and you can see my ass cheeks out the bottom. And you literally take the picture like, niggas gonna go crazy when they said it. Guess what? Some of them niggas that go crazy don't go crazy in the way that you want them to. Some niggas is just like, damn, you bad as hell, no disrespect, you fire. And they leave it at that. But then there's predators out this motherfucker, and them predators this is the things they thinking. Her shirt is completely clear. She got the knuckles showing and her shirt is completely clear. She's advertising. I can see everything. This is the sick motherfucker. And now he like, I got less respect for her. I'm going to go do this. Probably less people care about her. It's a lot of assumptions that these motherfuckers have. And we're talking about preventative ways. And this is coming from a man. This is from having discussions with a bunch of men, seeing how men think. Be in the best situation you can in one of those situations, because you are going to have to go places. You are going to go to certain events. You are going to go to certain meetings. And guess what? In general, yes, you could get shot wearing a suit. It happens less. Yes, you could get in a fight wearing a business suit. It happens less.
They say
a woman dressed in a fucking suit, you know what I'm saying? We know that they make a dress code even in a club for a reason. As a club promoter, there was a complete difference. 100% in all those years that I was throwing parties, in the ones where you had to dress up and the ones where you could come in anyway.
Point blank, it's about respecting yourself. So if you leave the house looking like you don't respect yourself and your body, why should other people respect yourself and your body?
And they should,
but it's how the fucking world is.
I'm going to give it to Wally because I know she's trying to say something. How you treat and respect yourself is the example that you set for others to treat and respect you, is what they say.
Right. And what I wanted to touch on, too, because I know people are not going to go to events, not going to do certain things. But if you do choose to partake in certain activities or, partake in certain drugs or whatever the case may be, a couple tips I'm going to give you. Number one, tell at least one person where you're going. Either share the location or whatever. And I know it might be private, even if, in those events, they take your phones or whatever, for non-disclosure reasons. Always have share your location with one person you trust and you rely on, or whatever the case may be. Because I know this is not going to stop no one from doing nothing, okay? We aren't innocent out here. We all want to have fun and partake in certain festivities, right? That's key. And like I said, make sure we're telling someone. 2, be mindful, like I said again, when they're asking you to do things, or if you feel uncomfortable or whatever the case may be, say that you want to leave. Don't stay there. Because now you're putting yourself in a situation where things can go wrong. You don't want things to go wrong. You don't want to be taken advantage of. So in that moment, if you see something that you feel uncomfortable with, leave. Now, if they don't
leave a gray area, because that's where it starts to get shady.
Exactly.
You have to say absolutely not.
You have to, exactly what Chelsea said. You have to say absolutely not, and you have to say no, and that you want to leave. Now, if they don't let you leave and you're in one of those circumstances, you got to prepare. Listen, I always carry, I don't know if I told the guys, but I always carry mace with me, whatever the case may be. Just always protect yourself as a woman. And these are just in these type of situations.
And just for this, real quick, in those situations, sometimes these things happen at house parties, events, things like that. If that happens and you tell the person you want to leave and then they're not listening, by all means, make as much noise as you possibly fucking can.
There you go.
Because sometimes these things that happen at these parties, make them other people in them other rooms come in that motherfucker.
And don't be embarrassed.
Much noise. Yeah, make as much noise. Call that motherfucker out on this bullshit right there.
Yep.
Right there on the spot.
And
Please.
I know it's hard, and it's embarrassing, but at the end of the day, you're going to help someone else. Because if he's trying to do it with you, he did it to somebody else already.
Or he's on his way to doing it.
Exactly. So you're going to help prevent other women from being hurt and yourself at the same time. And those are like just the best tips and advice I can give to people, because just being in this industry and being in this world and being around different people, yes, I've come across different celebrities and all that, but like, let me tell you something. I carry myself in a way that motherfuckers is going to respect me regardless. I don't care if you got $40 billion. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I'm a woman. You're going to respect me and you're going to respect my wishes. Mm-hmm. Period.
And you know, we run it. We actually overtime, but I just wanted to. It's such a fucking solemn. You know what I mean? It's not a fun subject to talk about.
It's not, but it needed to be.
But we felt like we was you know, it was just a responsible thing for us to talk about that. Of course, y'all are probably talking to us about it and giving your opinions in the
chat.
In the chat, leave your even your tips.
Yes,
even if
please.
you got more tips, leave them in the comments. Like, for real, this really might help somebody. You know what I mean? Because if it helped one person, it was worth it. Yeah. If this helped one person avoid something in the future, it was worth it. I want to go into something a little more fun for the next couple of minutes, and then we out of here because it's the latest news.
Yes.
And I just want to laugh a little bit, man. Right, you know what I'm saying? I want to laugh. You know.
This is a funny story, though.
So this is the thing, man.
It shocked me.
And, you know,
anytime Dev says this is the thing, man.
Listen, look.
You gotta listen up.
Listen.
This is the thing,
it makes you pay attention. You're like,
I'm trying to do the science of how this connects, how it goes.
Look, he like
Bill Cosby was on some bullshit.
Right.
He played Heathcliff Huxtable. He was Cliff.
Oh wow.
T.I. Cliff. And now, is his name Clifford Smith?
Yes.
M-A-T-H-O-D, man. M-A-T-H-O-D, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No.
Hey, you get off my... Yo, I can't believe this.
He said it. You don't know me and you don't know my style.
So wait a minute. So what's happening is Wendy Williams is saying you don't know him and you don't know his style.
You definitely don't.
And that his style is that Wendy Williams back in them. What was this 90s? It was
the 90s because she was saying it was a
rumors, by the way, y'all.
It was rumors.
She might be lying on him.
Right.
I don't know. But anyway.
We ain't getting no evidence
yet. It don't seem like a lie.
Hey, Neff, we ain't getting no evidence yet. We ain't gonna put you out there like that.
Listen, and this is fun because this isn't a crime. So we're just now
we're
being light with it. Yeah,
meth,
exactly.
We fuck with meth. You know what I'm saying? We fuck with meth.
We fuck with
Wendy,
meth and
I know you could actually put us on. So I'm not you.
Nah, shout out to Wendy for even saying. Let me tell you something. There's so many things about Wendy Williams that I love, and she makes me laugh, and she's very raw. That's the thing. And she from Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. You know, we all Jersey from Jersey out here. But like they said it was back like, you know, when Method was with Wu-Tang and all that. Mm-hmm. And she was saying there was like a situation going on or whatever. And they were in a party and some shit like that. And, you know.
They were at the club.
Yeah. And then like, you know, she said, I batted my eyes at him and he looked at me. And then.
That was the part.
You know what really like won me over on this story and made me really laugh?
What, Wally?
Because she brought this nigga home, bathed him down.
Allegedly.
Okay, allegedly. Bathed him down, which is awesome. Like, damn, she like took care of this nigga. And then she goes on, she didn't say that she had sex with him, but she basically said it. In other words, that they did proceed with sexual activity and they did their thing. And then that was that.
So this is the thing. In this thing, there were some things that didn't make sense. Right, so
like
I want to call those things.
Well, don't forget that she did say that they were smoking a lot of weed.
She did. It was high.
So I'm going to go into the drugs.
And weed doesn't make you do crazy shit like that. But she said there
you
was
ain't never
other
had
drugs.
none of that Tecal.
No, she said there was other drugs as well. So she probably was on a Molly or an ecstasy, and he probably
wasn't
was
too
on
much
some
on
shit
Molly
too.
because you got to think about to take the time to bathe him. She said she put
but
put
Molly makes everything feel good.
Yeah, you're right.
So he probably was. They probably was like, yo, she said, come back to my crib. And I don't know because I've never had sex on a Molly, honestly. But I've heard that, like, when you touch people, it just feels amazing.
It's like in heightened,
so they say if you're on some strong shit and you're with somebody, you might just, like, give somebody a back massage or, like, do something. Like, my girlfriend I was with last night, she said, me and my girlfriend did acid and then she asked to kiss me and she said, okay, like, so some of these drugs, not weed, might make you get out of character. So
and some of these drugs might make you not know the difference between Red Man and Method Man. Because she called the nigga Red Man like fucking 3 times.
Yeah, like 10 times.
And if it's somebody that you know have had some kind of beef with in the past, where I remember she spoke about like Method Man's wife's, it was like cancer situation.
And she put it out there.
And he blacked on her on a whole nother level.
Because no one knew.
Right? He blacked on her on a whole nother level. You know, so they have a history. If you also keep calling the person that you had sex with Red Man, right? That's an issue. And you said, I wasn't an addict. I was addicted to coke, and I got off of it in 3 days. You can't say I wasn't an addict. I was addicted to something.
But you beat it in 3 days.
No,
but she was just falling asleep on the Wendy Williams show.
But
6
beyond
months ago.
that, if you saying I'm not an addict, but I was addicted, that don't make sense. An addict is addicted. You can't say I'm not an addict. I was addicted to cocaine. You know what I'm saying?
I think,
but she's just doing it really heavily for a short period of time. So maybe that's why she didn't.
No, that's why she's addicted.
If she had to stop doing something because she said she was addicted to it, she was addicted to it. Like we can't play around with words like addiction and everything, and motherfuckers just saying I'm not, because you know how they say once an addict, always an addict. So you don't want to try drugs again. You leave it alone and you be sober. You living within your sobriety.
But obviously in her head, she doesn't believe that she was an addict. She
a lot of motherfuckers.
She thinks she was probably just a heavily user for a short period of time.
A lot of motherfuckers don't think they're an addict because that word carries such a fucking dirty feeling that a motherfucker would be like, I'm not an addict.
But that's the trickery, and not to get off topic because I want to get back on Wendy, but that's the trickery in that whole shit though, because the first step in like NA is realizing that you have a problem, admitting that you have a problem. So that's the first step in like recovery. Right. But real quick on
check
the Wendy,
Richie out.
She never went.
No. Pour the facts. The fax machine stay on. Like, but my thing is this. My thing is this though. I just want to know what's the big deal out of the Method Man and Wendy shit. What's the big deal?
If you don't kiss and tell 10 fucking years, 20 years later.
All right, I get that. What she did, whatever. I know Meth probably like, come on, what the fuck? If
he got a whole wife, like.
But my whole thing is like just being human and being like honest and being real. Let's be real. I like to be real, right?
Me too.
I like to be fucking real. Probably everybody at this table, and everybody else has had a 5, a 6.
Hold on, relax.
I'm not saying no. I'm just saying because either way, if somebody say like, oh well, Wendy Williams wasn't like Meth cup of tea.
But she wasn't
it's not just about that, bro.
20 years ago.
And it's not just about that. It's like
way better.
That's what I feel people coming at.
But it's also like when you do that nigga have a wife, a girlfriend, a family. Or something like this is like this is major.
Why would you
had a
now?
public feud.
He do.
What I'm saying.
No, he's married.
But I don't know what the situation was then. But if we also had a feud over my wife, like you reporting news about my wife that I found to be inappropriate, and we feuded publicly, and then we bring out later that we had some kind of relationship, it makes it look even worse.
She got a movie coming out.
Right now,
so it's also promotions of a movie that makes certain things come out. So we got to be mindful. We're about to get out of here. I just wanted to bring that up. But for all we know, rest in peace, because he was the wild bull. He was the wild nigga of Wu-Tang Clan.
Right.
Could have been ODB. Because she already mixed up. But
that's all I'm saying though. Is if you ever wilded out, for whoever ever wilded out one time, right? You get down, you do whatever you do all the time, and you wilded out one night. You wilded out. We human. Just be safe. I hope you were safe.
I thought it was wild and Porter.
Wild. No, mine's got a D in it. Because when I'm wild, then I put the D in it.
Oh, you wilded out.
Yeah.
When I'm wilding out.
Yeah. So with that being said, this has been the Devinwade Show. You know what I'm saying? For my motherfucking self, for Waleska D, for Porter Rich, and for Chelsea Lee. It could have been ODB.
It could have been.
We out, y'all. Peace.